Ooh, oh my God. Okay, we made it. A little late, but we made it. Hope y'all are doing well. It is freaking hot in here today. Um, we've been doing a lot of cleaning and moving things around, and I'm just now realizing that the filming light is like right here. So that's going to be an annoying position today for sure. Thank y'all for being patient. We ran into a couple delays. It has been an interesting day. We even had some major internet problems. Had to get a tech guy out here. That's the reason you didn't even see the notification until sometime after 4 because I wasn't even sure we was going to be able to stream today. So luckily we got everything ironed out. Things are looking good, even if my video light's in a bad position. That's all right. But we made it, right? We're here. And I don't know if you know this, it's Friday. It is Friday, which is good. That means we can actually sit back, relax a little bit, and get ready to enjoy the weekend. Yes. And for those who don't know, we have been running a contest actually. And that contest ended on the 24th at midnight. Yes, it did. Which also means I have names. Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. We will get to those in a bit, though. I want to give up all the good stuff right at the start. Let's see. Who we already got in here today? Let's see here. See, Terror, good to see you. Anubis, hello. Origin of Insanity, welcome. Andrew, hello. J-Moo, good to see you again. Mangrove, welcome. Victoria, welcome. We got a pretty good bunch in here. And Tara, thank you for giving the shout out about the likes. Yes, do give us the thumbs up. It helps us out a lot. YouTube loves that stuff when y'all do that. Lets them know you actually enjoy the content we're doing, as does the comments you leave. Comments, YouTube's definitely seeming to put more leverage on those comments, so appreciate it. Let's see. KRY, good to see you. And Chris, welcome back. So I have had a really, really busy week. We actually had to reshoot a section of the Dragon Magic 102. So we was able to identify all the things that needed reshot and sit down in one night and reshoot it all. And then I realized that means I have to re-edit it all too. Boo. But the Dragon Magic 102 is coming along really, really nicely. So I actually think the delay won't be as bad as I'm thinking. And we should be able to get it out sooner than I'm thinking. My helper, she does not believe that I can pull off April. Y'all know I said mid-April for the release originally. I'm still trying for April. I'm stubborn. But that's just me. You know how I get. So we are going to be trying that. And you know what? Let me move this light. Hold on. Better, much better. Okay. Oh Lordy, I hate leaving dead screen and all that, but that was just bad, people. We had to move that. It's already hot enough in here without me being under a blistering light there. So. Origin of Insanity. How do I like multiple times? I appreciate it. I really do. Unfortunately, it won't let you. At least not that I'm aware of. I hope you. Yeah, it was kind of weird because having it closer made it darker. Um, so that if it wasn't so dark and I might have even been seen on screen, maybe I could have powered through it. But the screen was so dark that was messing with me. I couldn't handle that. Could not handle that at all. Whew, what has been going on? I have been actually working with the goddess Hell a lot this week, getting some notes and everything. I'm going to be starting a path working with her. As I told you, the Fae Queens have taken my notes on the Fae path working and currently holding those hostage. They still have not given those back. Still pouting over that one. Hopefully I'll get them back soon. That's my hopes. Let's see. I did get a chance to speak with Mrs. Working Dragon Mystic this week. That really, really made my week. It was really nice to hear from her because she's still away from home. So that was awesome. Definitely got to give her a shout out. And it's a little weird because the repairman, I told you we had that guy come in look at the internet today. Apparently his son watches this channel and he recognized me. That was weird. I was not emotionally prepared for that. So it's been a busy week. It has been warm. We are at that point where the weather is hot, but it also drops so cold that really you can't turn on the air conditioner. You can't really guarantee the heater is going to help. We're just in that weird little spot. Luckily, we do have some ceiling fans to move the air around, help out a bit, but it's that weird little temperature of spring. For those on the East Coast and the warmer climates, you know the zone I'm talking about. Let's see. Seems like there's something else I want to tell y'all today. Don't remember what it was. Nope, not remembering. All right, so how y'all been doing this week? Everybody been doing all right? Let's get some coffee. That might jog my memory a little. Coffee is always good for the brain, at least my brain. You want to tell us? I don't know that I'm that awesome. I'm a goofy old guy who's managed to do all right for himself. That's about as good as I can get there. Origin. I appreciate it, though. Bornoldas, welcome. Glad you can make it. I guess you're joining us from work, actually. Or are you off tonight, man? I can't remember. Oh, well, there's Halloween. Guess who she actually got off work on time. Awesome to hear, Halloween. Welcome. Glad you could join us. Jade, good to see you as well. Nope. Nowadays you're at work for every. Well, okay. That makes sense. Well, at least you got the streams to help break up the monotony of work. Anime Geek, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Okay. I have been getting some interesting questions in my email, and I don't know what started it. Many of you have been asking how I drink different whiskeys or rums. And if I would do videos on those topics. I don't personally foresee me doing that. Mainly just because even though I don't do this channel for kids, I do consider this to be a more, adult, responsible style practice. I am very aware that younger people do drift in here. So, and since it is more metaphysical, unless it's going to actually relate to something magical, I probably won't be doing those videos. Though for those of you who did email me some questions, I sent back a response. I didn't just ignore it. I do appreciate the questions. I try to answer any of the ones I do get. And for the gentleman who did ask whether I consider a dark and stormy without Goslings a dark and stormy, I haven't emailed you back. I will get into detail, but technically speaking, by actual copyright, that drink does actually require Goslings by copyright. But yeah, you can actually making it with different rums will change it. It will change the flavor profile of it, and I would say try it with others, but make sure you try it with the original first. Let's see. So yeah, it has been an interesting week. See, Frederick, hey, welcome. I'm dropping in from the Lost Coast again. New insight on working with the Elder Futhark. Actually, yeah, the Elder Futhark is going to actually play into the path working with Hell. I'm getting ready to start. So I'm actually really, really looking forward to that. We do have a video for the Rune class. It's filmed and it's uploaded, so it's already on the calendar to release. I do apologize for the delay in the next one of the Rune class. I don't remember its exact release date. Let's see. Do I have a calendar open? So it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks, I think, unless I reorder it. I might have to juggle some things around. We'll see if I can do that. But it actually, we're getting ready to start talking more specifically into the rune magic side, because we discussed the general meanings, and you're supposed to be doing those runic meditations and stuff in the class already. Hopefully, for those of you doing the free rune class on the channel, you have been doing the homework. So the first video, we're actually introducing the rune magic section of that playlist with actually Odin's direct words from the Havamal, and how those words apply to the runes themselves, utilizing them and working with them, because that really does set you up for a very successful rune practice. So it's very, very important. And we were going to originally do that video and start with the examples, but either the examples would get shorted or the information on the Havamal would get shorted, and we didn't want to short either, so we split them. So you do have that to look forward to. I do apologize for the delay. Let's see, Chris, do you have any advice where to study draconian magic? Like not with actual dragons, but with the image of dragons. I know you've talked about it, but not sure if you've made a video on just that. I don't think I've done a video just on draconian magic itself. I have done a video discussing draconian magic and dragon magic, and why, when searching one or the other, they crisscross and overlap, and yet they're very different animals. As far as where to study, my go-to, or I'd say my favorite source, is the Draconian Ritual book, which I believe it's one of the books that we list in the recommended reading tags, because I actually do enjoy Draconian magic. Even though it's not dragon magic, I do very well enjoy it. That particular book is by Asenath Mason, and she's gathered a bunch of practitioners and authors around her that do focus on draconian magic. So you could probably go to Amazon and find like-minded people, but that is definitely a great book. Now, I know at one time they had a website. I don't know if the website's still there or not, but it was the Temple of the Ascended Flame, which is her and her group's kind of, well, it's the group that actually works with and does the books, and they even post rituals, and there's a process of joining it and learning more. I personally, if I was wanting to dive deeper into it, I'd probably go that direction. Now, most of the Cliffothic workings I've been tinkering with, honestly, are Azonoth Masons. So, as a magician, I find her works very fascinating. They're not necessarily in the styles I'm used to, but that's also a good thing. It's good to branch out. Um, and all the books that I've read of hers are solid. They are very, very solid. In fact, Mephistopheles has been mentioned so many times by questions and comments and emails. I actually went ahead and picked up her book on Mephistopheles in the Faustian traditions as practiced through the Draconian style. Haven't read it yet, so I can't recommend it or one way or the other. I've only made it through like a chapter or two while I was waiting in a line someplace, which can't even say that was a deep dive. Welcome, Peachy. But at first glance, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm really looking forward to diving deeper into it. No problem, Chris. No problem. Like I said, a lot of people give the Draconian tradition a lot of crap. They really do. Most everyone I know who practices it actually has great results with it. But they'll also tell you it's not for everyone because it can be a rough road. It is a very harsh practice to hear most people tell it. And every working I've done under that banner, it's been, pretty raw. And I kind of enjoy that. And I think there's a lot of value to that. But I also understand that that kind of extreme raw practice isn't necessarily for everyone. And I've often wondered if there is a softer side to the Draconian practice. It would be an interesting area to research perhaps one day. But so far, I've just not seen it or heard it talked about for that matter. But as far as a functional, useful system for growth, manifestation, I mean, everyone I know who's utilized it has very much enjoyed it. Let's see. So, hope that helps you out a bit because I know that is a hard one. I know Draconian and Dragon Magic. Well, actually, Draconian has more publications on it than Dragon Magic, but it's still hard to sort through. So I understand that completely. Anime Geek, do you have any information about the Four Horsemen? Well, it's been a while since I've worked with the Four Horsemen archetypes, and therein lies your biggest issue. When you're looking at the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, these are not entities in and of themselves. You see them in Revelations. Revelations is a interpretive vision of the future. It's not meant to be read literally. It is meant to be interpreted. So the horsemen represent aspects, and those aspects are embodied into those four horsemen. And those energy currents and all the entities within those energy currents are actually would be in play when dealing with those aspects. So if you want to truly work with the four horsemen, you would actually be approaching those four aspects and diving as deep into their understanding as you could by working with multiple entities. Some practitioners will even just assign a particular entity that they're very interested in to focus their workings and their teachings on with that entity. And they'll try and pick an entity that associates well with that. The two easiest one most people have an easy time picking is definitely death and war, because there's plenty of death entities and war entities out there to choose from. The other two gets a little trickier. So, I mean, I'd almost need a whole live stream just to try and break that one down. But those are actually currents that are really great to look into and work with and understand, because Most people think of them as very, very negative. But what they fail to understand is they're not negative, they're necessary. They actually do serve a purpose for the multiversal balance. Blake, do entities change with the culture? Um, this is kind of a mixed bag, Blake. Entities continue to grow. They do. They continue to grow. Now, the entity, if an entity has a leaning to a people or a culture that they just naturally gravitate toward. Great example of this is Norse or Celtic entities. Entities that they have an identity with a historical culture. They will grow with the culture, but, and here's the big one, there is a huge but. They grow independently of the culture as well. So it is actually possible for a culture to deviate and go against the teachings of an entity, and the entity to continue to grow into the modern times while maintaining its base identity, though both are very possible. And you do see this in a lot of entities. So entities continue to grow and change. That's one of the reasons I laugh when people's talking about Odin. And Odin did not get off the evolutionary chain just because humans forgot about him for a short time there, or just because they stopped writing down his legends. The entity Odin has continued to learn. That's one of the misnomers. People think gods are just, they've reached their high point and they're done. No, they're still growing, they're still learning, they're still evolving. Grant you, it's at a level we're not yet, but they're still growing too. They're not perfect. So, well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, Blake. I mean, people fall in love with who they fall in love with. Well, hold on. Unless you're saying on the underage side, that would be a problem. That's a huge problem. That would be a different reading of that statement. So I got to be careful how I read that statement there, Blake. But yeah, times and culture and ideals of rights of adulthood and age, those have changed over time for various reasons, various reasons. So you will see things like that adjusted. Very, very adjusted. But that gets into that can take us down a questionable thing that YouTube is going to flag us on for talking about. Which I'll just say, my personal opinion is, yeah, don't break the law when it comes to age. 7LVX. It's going good, man. Going good. A little warm in here today. A little warm. And we're right at that point where it stays warm, but the air's not kicking on. But other than that, we are doing good today. I know it's stupid, but I got some hot coffee here. And whoops. Don't want to flash a logo and advertise somebody. Yeah, I'll advertise the heck out of them. They want to help me out here. But for those who saw the logo, I do think it's good coffee. I drink a lot of it. Let's see. Just finished 3 hours of Magic. Time to relax. Nice, nice. Putting up some good numbers there. Sophia, welcome. Or had a dream where you get hurt and when you wake up, you have the wound. Actually, more times than I care to admit there, Sophia. Though actually not dreams per se. I don't actually dream. It's rare that I have a dream. For me, it's more in journey work where it happens. Hooney, hydrate question about the prosperity spell. Should I put out the candle after 5 minutes of visualization? Or okay, so if we're talking about the long-term prosperity spell here on the channel where you use the larger candle, the candle should burn the entire time you're doing the visualization and the working. When you're done doing the visualization and the working, you blow out the candle and you blow in, make sure you're pushing energy into it, because what you're doing, you're creating a talisman out of the candle to continue to pull in additional prosperity as you've already done a spell to put energy out to bring in prosperity. So you're getting 2 levels here. And you're supposed to repeat this using the same candle over a long-term period. So you relight the candle like in a week, depending on how often you want to do the working. I usually recommend once a week. And you'd relight the candle, do the working again, blow it out. Again, charging it with more energy so the talisman continues to get stronger. You're putting more energy out. You're getting more and more of that double effect. And you continue doing this until you work your way through the whole candle. Now, in the off chance that you still haven't manifested your goal, or you've manifested, you've watched your prosperity growing, but you want to go further, don't stop. Grab another candle, get right back on the horse and keep going. That's what I did, as I talked about in the video with it. So yeah, don't let the candle burn out. This is not your traditional light it and let it burn out spell. In fact, if you do that, you're not going to get as good results. Luna, good to see you. Going good, going good. Been a busy day. Is there a way? Victoria, the answer to that's yes and no. Practitioners tend to have very unique energetic patterns in their aura. However, that said, a person can have a very unique and strong aura and a healthy aura and never practice magic. It's just something about their personality can actually mimic that very easily. Energy lies. And when people say energy don't lie, horseshit. It lies. There's an entire category of magic called glamours based around the entire concept of energy lying. And yes, you can hide it. You can use a glamour to actually hide your aura from another person very easily. And all you have to do is, for example, go over and check out our grounding and shielding video. So when you're grounding and you're setting up your shield, since you have to pull your aura in to behind the shield anyway, focus on the aura and just shape its imagery to dull it and make it look as basic as possible. Boring, basic, just bleh. And that would hide it. Let's see. One-chan, welcome. Good to see you. You might have to ask it again, Tara, because I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it anywhere. I see where you're saying your question was missed, but I'm not seeing the question, weirdly enough. So I do apologize. I do remember we do have the super chat. If it's a really important question, it's getting missed because these live chats are getting busier and busier, which is awesome. It's great to know I have so many people who enjoy the channel and enjoy hearing goofy old Southerner talk and share his experience. It's only if you're like posting it, like to where it's just like a wall of you're posting. Do I get too worried? I mean, if it's posted and I haven't seen it in 5 minutes and you know it's scrolled by, go ahead and repost it. That's fine. But you've all seen it in here. Somebody will just copy and paste the same question, so it's like in between everybody's statement. That's when I'm going to get on to you. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Tara. It's always good to know that y'all respect the chat log. It really is. I do appreciate it. So yeah, no, just go ahead and post it back in here, and I'll try and get it for you. Let's see. Anya Chan, have you ever worked with Lady Grimmery? Just recently started to work with her because her presence can really help with opening the arcane senses. I've worked with, a little bit. Yeah, I have. I've relatively enjoyed it, actually. It's been a while. It has been a while since the last time I worked with him. Yeah, it's actually very possible to slip into, if you're doing it in a dream, it's not that you're slipping entirely into another realm, but you would be getting onto the border of it through the dream realm. So that is actually very possible. The dream realm can easily overlap another realm, and could happen like that. But if you're worried about something in your house, honestly, a simple banishing will fix it. The key to a banishing is you have to have the confidence in it. If you go through the motions, but you don't trust the banishing and you don't think it's going to work, your doubt will stop it. You got to have the confidence and the authority. That's the big kicker. Oh, no problem, Victoria. Happy to help. I'm actually glad it gave me a chance to rant on that whole energy don't lie thing. That is a statement that has annoyed me for years. Okay, the question. Are you still asking the question, Tara? Because I see. Okay, the question was, and then there's nothing there. And it says if it's too sensitive to answer, just let me know. I'm starting to wonder, because if you've already typed it, it's not in the chat, which means YouTube is blocking it. I don't know what you're asking, but it looks like YouTube's the one blocking it, which is why I didn't see it. It didn't get missed. It's not in the chat logs. So you may have to email me or message me privately on Discord to get that one answered, because YouTube apparently isn't liking that. Because that is weird. It's not there at all. That's why I didn't see it when I scrolled back up. So yeah, interesting. Is it possible for books on entities to be real? Well, this is actually the fact that you bring up Lovecraft actually makes this really, really interesting. First off, entities in books can actually be created as thought forms and egregores. So there's a lot of chaos magicians who actually do use egregores and evoke egregores of entities from knowledge of a book. So what this means is there's enough knowledge and information about an entity from a popular book series, because so many people identify and have knowledge of this entity or this fictional character, to define it enough that you could actually evoke that. And you're evoking an entity, which evocation is a form of creation. And you would create the egregore right there in your room, and that egregore will be pulling on all the information that surrounds it, and even can pull on the information of those attached to it that helped create it. Thus, you could evoke a fictional entity and work with it as a real entity. Lovecraft. Lovecraft is a fascinating discussion, which I've mentioned a time or two on here, Blake, because there are plenty of practitioners who have worked with Lovecraft's entities And the question has always been, are these entities egregores, or are they real entities that inspired or spoke through Lovecraft in some way to get information and knowledge about them out there? And I will admit, I did a small working with many of the Lovecraftian entities and got magnificent results. And one of the things that is on my to-do list, I got to get a few more classes finished up before I can actually say I'm going to have time to do this. But I want to do a full deep dive path working with the Lovecraft entities to try and determine for myself whether these are egregores or genuine entities that actually inspired Lovecraft to write his books. So that's something I'm planning to do in the future. So great question, though, Blake. Really good question. Animal do egregores have the same power as entities? No, no, no. An egregore does have limitations that a true entity does not. A true entity can pull on its entire base and is separated from those that create. I mean, it wasn't created by people, so it's a separate thing. Egregore actually requires the to have those attachments to it, and it is limited by the information of the creator. Or those that are feeding into it. So, for example, if an entity, let's say in a myth, ends up becoming an egregore accidentally, everyone who believes in this myth or shares the myth, even if they think it's fictional, is feeding into the myth because it constantly is being retold. More people know about it. And the more people who know about it, more energy is going to it. And it can essentially pull on that information base of everyone who has information on it, kind of tapping into the global collective of knowledge, which is what magicians do with divinations. Which that, honestly, when you think about it, that's not really that limited. That's pretty freaking awesome. But it is a limitation that other entities would not have. And it can't draw information from outside the realm in which it was created. So, for example, if humans create an egregore, it can't draw anything from realms outside of it. If that makes sense, Animal Man. I hope it makes sense. That's the best way I know to explain it right now. Well, I am hoping to get more information on them. I know a lot of people who they claim the Lovecraftian system is extremely dangerous. I mean, we've all heard the stories, which pretty much makes, I mean, even Lovecraft's own writings were based on the system driving people insane and everything. So it's not one where I can recommend because, like I said, my research I had great results with, but it's still such a small sampling, I can't recommend it. But until I do a much larger sampling and get a lot more data on it, I'm on the fence. So, see, 7LVX, were you able to perceive the angels from 72 Angels of Magic ritual system from Gallery? Yeah, the ones I worked with, because I didn't get a long-term time to work with that. I want to go back and work more with it. But the ones I worked with in the short-term testing I did over, it was like a month or two, I had no issues with evoking them to full and being able to fully perceive them. That was no issue at all. But then again, I've got a lot of practice. I know a lot of people starting out with that system, they had the same limitations they have with other entities, but they still got results. So yeah, how does a human create an egregore? Well, it differs from thing to thing, but ultimately for an egregore, you're going to need multiple people. And you're going to need multiple people to pour energy into it and belief into it. A singular person cannot create a singular egregore. You can create a massively powerful thought form that borders on egregore. It borders right on it. And that's the reason a lot of people will say that a single person can create it. But the fact that you need multiple lines of belief and information and knowledge is really what separates it. And you just can't get that without multiple people. You have to have that. But if you have multiple people, you could easily create an egregore. However, more often than not, it happens accidentally from works of fiction where people start reading about something and they start having such an emotional attachment and reaction to a character that an egregore can spring up around the character. Now, one caveat to one person can't create an egregore is if you have a very, very popular character where a lot of people already have belief in the character or emotional attachment to the character, and that knowledge base is already there, like a fictional character in a book or on TV, and you were to evoke it, you're now grabbing all those different strings, all that emotion, all that belief, and you're pulling it into one place, and you're housing it within the evocation. Now, one person has utilized information from hundreds, if not thousands, to do so. So through the evocation ritual, you have done this. You have essentially created an egregore. But again, it still took more people than just you, even though you were basically the only one that really knew what you were doing. If that makes sense, Sophia. Blake, actually it does. Lucifer does attempt to try and deal with as many of those egregores as they can. However, the concept here is one thing that happens to a lot of people is they will actually attempt to evoke Lucifer, and they will spontaneously create an egregore because they're trying to summon a version of Lucifer to sell their soul to. And since Lucifer don't give one rat's rump about your soul, he don't want it, he don't need it, it has no value to him. Instead of evoking him, they end up evoking and creating an egregore spontaneously because of the common belief and myth that surrounds the selling of the soul process. So just like a fictional character, they essentially end up creating that egregore spontaneously. But even the egregore doesn't need your soul, doesn't want it, can't take it. So, but that is the reason why you do get these people talking about a successful ritual of that kind. Oni-chan, its actual origins is not entirely known. Many people actually credit the story of Faust for the selling of souls. That's where a lot of people actually credit the selling of souls to. But many people point to religion and using scare tactics to get people to go one direction or another based on a religion. And that actually predates Christianity. Scare tactics predate Christianity. So we can't even really blame them if we're going to go down the scare tactic road. So its exact origins, I'm not unsure. I'm still unsure of. But let's put it, publicity and spin, it's nothing new. I mean, we just passed St. Patrick's Day, and I can't count the number of anti-Christian posts I saw on St. Patrick's Day from pagans talking about how St. Patrick's did, when he's talking about the snakes that was running pagans out of Ireland. Conveniently, every one of these posts left out the fact that prior to St. Patrick going to Ireland and doing that, he had been captured by pagans, taken to Ireland, and enslaved for most of his life. And it was only after he escaped did he come back to do that. And in the process, free many other slaves. So it's one of those, again, where they're putting that spin on it. They're only going to tell you half the story to demonize this person while not admitting to their fault. No one's hands are clean, people. No one's. And that is one of those things that I I was very polite to point that out in many a pagan group this year, because you know, if you're going to sit there and try and grade someone and tear someone down for their beliefs, you better damn sure well look at the history before you go pointing fingers. Let's see here what we got. Let's see. Mangrove exotic servitor is essentially it's an entity you create that serves a single function, whether it be protection or whatnot. There's actually a lot of good books on it, but servitor magic is actually very useful. But you do have to be sure to build in a fail safe and a kill command on them. So. We actually have a video on the channel, Introduction to Servitors, so check that one out. Let's see, Sophia, I don't think someone would be interested in Soul, especially if it's a regular one. Well, souls have no value across the multiverse, period. No entity has a value. It's not even something that can be exchanged. That is just, it's a myth. And you're right. If you look at how young the human race is in the multiverse, that's like me going to the store. Okay. I'm going to the store and I need honey. Okay. I need honey. That's what I need. I'm going to the store for honey. And you try to sell me dandelion seeds. I need honey today and you're handing me dandelion seeds. This is not useful. True, if I plant these, tend to them, and grow me a giant dandelion garden and also raise a bunch of bees, they can, harvest the pollen. They can make the honey. I can harvest the honey. That's useless. The seeds are absolutely useless to me. And that's even if the soul had value, which it doesn't. So yeah, you're right, Sophia. Human souls are just mm-mm. Yeah, we are actually doing a series on the 72 spirits of the Goetia, so we will be getting her back around to her. I'm actually looking forward to it. I am doing them in order, just so that two reasons. A, I don't want to show favoritism to one spirit over another. And two, I'm avoiding people constantly requesting that I do this one over this one over this one over this one, and then jumping around and trying to figure out what video I've done. If I just do them in order, I already have a preconceived list. I know what order we're doing them in. And you all know what order I'm doing them in. Therefore, you know not to ask me to bump somebody up on the list. Let's see. Let's see. Neighbor's kid's in trouble again. I don't know if you can hear it. Interesting. Wonder what he did this time. Oh, I actually told his mom the other night we heard him, and I was like, you can tell your son his ass is on YouTube. I never seen a woman laugh so hard. Oh. Let's see. See, Sophia. Yep. Bornaldus, Mr. Spell Checker. Yes, Sophia is correct. It actually is spelled in both areas, actually. There's actually a third spelling. I never can remember. It's a weird one, though, but it's also viewed as a correct spelling for it. So, yes. I've considered keeping bees a time or two, but my wife she's like completely anti-stinging insects. And every time I mention bees, she talks about keeping spiders, and that ends the conversation right there. So I'm anti-spider, she's anti-bee. We just meet in the middle and don't keep either of them. Well, I mean, I still do get questions. Like I know you asked about Leviathan. I do actually plan to do a video on Leviathan. Someone asked me about Baphomet, which I'm actually wanting to do a video on. There's a lot of reasons I don't talk about Baphomet on here. One of the reasons, and this really pisses people off, is it's actually a pretty modern entity. It doesn't have much history at all. First time it ever shows up is the Knights Templar. And we're not even sure it is what people say it is. And it doesn't show up again until LeVay wrote his book and gave it a separate association. So I am going to actually do a video trying to break that down in a scholarly and respectful manner. So we will see what happens with that. But yeah, I am, when people ask, I do try to put them on a list because I am wanting to do more entities and whatnot. But I only have so much time in a day. I really do. I can't get to them all the time. So. Sophia, do dragons die of age or are they immortal? No, they age. They do age. They age extremely slowly. And they age so slowly that they would feel immortal to us, but they do actually die of old age. So yeah, that is a thing. Good morning, Irina. Hey, good morning, Irina. Mugs up to you. Well, I am planning to do the video, Luna, but like I said, technically we know absolutely nothing factual about Baphomet. Nothing true. I mean, solid, nothing. He was brought into Luciferianism as an image. And strictly placed in there. It actually had, before that, it had none of the actual connotations or connections of any of that. So it was one of those where it was more adopted. And it was largely symbolically, as many people here have stated, it was symbolically adopted because of the different symbolisms and everything. And if you look into the symbolism, it makes sense. But as a separate entity in and of itself, that it was not, if that makes sense. And that's where the big problem is. Let's see. Oh, crap. I just remembered something. I told y'all we got winners. We got names. I don't know. Y'all, you all can correct me, but do y'all want to know the winners of that whole little contest thing we did, where we was going to give away 3 of those free Dragon Magic 101 courses? Y'all want to know those names? Or do you want me to just forget about this? Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Questions. Is a symbol. Oh, look at this. Look at everyone is like he's symbolic. Oh my God, I knew y'all was one of my peoples. I did. Y'all have read. I love it. I'm so proud. Emily, how's everybody going? Is everything going, Big Buzz? I've been having having a couple questions and I can't seem to find your email. Haven't figured out Discord yet. The email's in the about section, but I'll go ahead and give it out again. It's workingdragonmystic@gmail.com. You can make sure that you drop your questions there. And one reason that we're going to include the email right now is some of y'all is going to be needing it. So the first winner of a free Dragon Magic 101 course, which I will need you all to go to your YouTube, and where your little picture is up here in the corner, right over there. Click that and get a screenshot of it so I get to see your screen name with the email. And email me to let me know so I have your email and I can email you your free coupon. And I know someone's not just watching this and pretending to be you. I want to make sure the winners get it. So send me the screenshot of that so that I know the screen name and the email match up. Appreciate it. All right. So our winners of the contest are T Busy. Congratulations. You actually won a free Dragon Magic 101 course. donated by the Discord admin and the admin who also helped moderate the chat here. You were our first winner. Second winner, Apollo Creed. You also won a free Dragon Magic 101 course. And Mimi, M-I-M-I-E, you also won a free Dragon Magic 101 course. Remember, I will need you to email me at workingdragonmystic, one word, @gmail.com with the screenshot so that I know the screen name and the email match up so I know the right person gets the coupon. Congratulations to every one of y'all who entered and the winners, because y'all freaking fantastic. You guys are some of the nicest people I've actually met on the internet. No lies. You guys are awesome. And I know at least T Busy, I know you were actually really looking forward to getting into that class. So congratulations. Apollo Creed, I'm relatively new to the channel, but hey, I'm glad you won it. And Mimi, you commented, and I saw your name, and I'm not going to lie, you made me think of somebody who I knew back in high school, way back when I was a young little whippersnapper. And I swear to God, if you are that Mimi, please let me know, because that would just be freaking awesome. We got to catch up. Been a while. All right. So congratulations to the winners. Do get me the screenshot, because I have had people try to lie and claim someone else's prize. And that's just not cool, people. That is beyond not cool. And whoa, we got lots of congratulations, lots of happy people. That is awesome. Let's see, Sophia, let's say you are on the path of the dragon. You have a guardian dragon. You die, you reincarnate, you follow the path again. Could you and the guardian be together again? It is very, very unlikely, Sophia. The reason being, the way incarnation works, it's not the same soul. It's only a piece or a fragment of the soul that reincarnates every lifetime. That's the reason. It's literally a different person and personality every time. That's the reason we actually have ghosts, because if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have ghosts. And because of that differential, the original guardian is most likely not going to be the proper dragon to work with you now. They're not assigned to your soul. They're assigned to you as an individual. And because of that, that would deviate. And in order for you to follow the path fully and correctly and get the most out of it, and for the guardian dragon to be able to do its job, it would very, very, very likely need to be a different dragon. That's not to say the other one won't swing in and say hi. So, great question, though. Navarro, trying simple fasting for now. No, any simple practices one can do to become healthier and stronger, strengthen the aura, etc. Well, cut out processed. I know vegans and carnivores alike will butt heads over what's the healthier food. I won't get into the science on that. That's not what this channel's for, and there is a lot of science on it. But cutting out the processed stuff, no one really debates that. Sugar, by and large, it tanks your energy. It just tanks it. So you want to get away from processed and sugars, which generally means carbohydrates too. Because I don't care if it's whole grain wheat or oat, it doesn't matter. Your body transforms it to sugar. But beyond that, you want to eat whole, natural foods. You can cook it. You don't have to eat it raw. We're not going crazy like that. But you do want to try and eat as much whole foods as you can. The way one of my magician friends explained it to me is like, just shop on the outside of the store. Don't go to the center. Which makes sense, because everything on the outside is usually pretty solid, no preservatives. That's going to be the easier one. Timing your eating, which sounds like you're doing, is actually a good thing. You want to give your body time to tap into its natural energy, rest, and heal. That's the reason, you hear about the Spartans did the 1 meal a day thing. People talk about the 14 hours of fasting, 16 hours of fasting, 18, those kinds of things. Um, so try and consider those factors. Um, Also, anytime you're playing around with your dietary or health habits, talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor. I ain't a doctor. I ain't a doctor. So you do want to take that because, for example, let's say well, my dad was diabetic. He took insulin and other medications. He had to be really careful. So because when you're fasting, your blood sugar comes down. So if you're on a medication that's to lower your blood sugar, and you're fasting, your blood sugar comes down, you're still taking your medication, that's going to get you in a whole world of trouble. So you need to talk with your doctor before you're doing stuff like that. Use a little intelligence here. And magic does not replace modern medicine. Never has, never will, and you'll never get me to say it does. So just play it safe, play it smart. But the quickest and easiest one is definitely change, eat the whole foods kind of stuff, and exercise. A nice little workout. Pretty good for you. Help boost your energy up nicely. Let's see here. All right, everybody. I'm going to try and get through these last comments. We are on our hour here. Let's see what we got. And congrats, T Busy. Glad to hear it. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, Sophia, it took me a long time to figure that out too, because one of the reasons I found out is like, how do we have ghost if reincarnation works? So that I was trying to answer that question, and the more I learn about the soul, the more I realize we really don't understand it fully. The soul's far too large to fit in this meat suit we got. Um, but once that was explained, it just all kinds of clicks and makes so much more sense. Oh crap, we jumped. Okay, I clearly will not be able to get all these because we are jumping. You guys are talking. You guys are freaking awesome. I love y'all. You guys are amazing. I love starting my weekend off with you all. Let's see. Does that mean our person? You're so the next you in line will have a different personality in some ways. Yes, there will be some commonalities, some, but the lessons, the flaws, the pros, the cons, all those things are going to be different. There will be some traces of personality resemblance, but the further from one to the other you get, the more drastically different the personality shifts. So, no, you will not be the exact same person. There will be personality differences. Let's see, Terror. You can still be best friends with the Guardian, right? Or they have to. Well, I mean, if they're still of age to be a guardian dragon, they still have to work as a guardian dragon. That's their job. So they would be reassigned. That doesn't mean that they can't stop in and visit you, but they would be reassigned. So, but they would get another human. They would continue to do the guardian bit until they got old enough to move on to working within the elements and becoming a specialty dragon. And then they'd work there for several thousands of years before they ever got the experience before they could move into working as a guardian, or not a guardian, a co. Vlad Pan, greetings everyone, just watching Netflix. Thank you, Vlad. Thank you. Reach Drake. Let's see, Magician, hey, Jacob, Tony. So where is the rest of the soul and what is it doing? It's just kind of chilling out in its own little pocket dimension for on the soul plane. There's actually an entire plane that's referred to as the soul plane, and that plane has several little pocket dimensions within it. And inside each of those little pocket dimensions, tucked away, secure, and safe, is the entirety of the soul. Let's see. Actually, Irina, you don't carry the traumas. You only carry the lessons needed to be learned. That's actually a misconception, weirdly enough. Um, that's the. There are bits and pieces of information within the Akashic records that'll bleed over and whatnot, but information and trauma actually are drastically and massively energetically different. And this is a difference that honestly we need more practitioners to talk about because the information, um, we're trying to treat it like full blown trauma, and it's not. Um, and it really irks me because I've seen way too many people try to sell and cheat people out of money to um, heal past life traumas. Origins of insanity. Are there? No, there are not souls that are destined to meet each other. There are souls that do have a tendency to find each other. They're drawn to each other for different reasons, but not destined. Destined is kind of a fated, uninevitable kind of concept. That is not the case. Just like the twin flame concept. You're not born specifically meant for another person. What's going to end up happening is as you two journey through life and you have your different experiences, you are going to grow. You are going to change. You're not born as everything you're going to be. You're almost born a blank slate. You're born with potential, potential. But your choices, your actions, they matter. They matter so, so much. They matter more than what actually happens to you. What happens to you matters because of how you choose to react to it, how you choose to respond to it. So again, it's your choice that matters. And that's what shapes you as an individual as you grow. And that shapes you through your experiences. This means today, this person can be a perfect match to you and would be your twin flame. 2 days later, you may not match them at all. Something's changed. Something drastically has changed. And now you instead match this person over here now. And this is why you see so many people who they start dating their supposed twin flame and then everything goes ass up and everyone gets hurt, everyone's traumatized, everyone's crying. It's because they took it for granted that they found someone like them and they didn't think they're still going to grow. And you have to grow as a team. You have to grow together, not together, but you're going to have to grow and work together. And you're going to have to share that to make sure you grow and stay in that vibrational balance, or you will grow apart. End of story. It takes work. Stop trusting destiny to make you happy. So let's see here. All right, everybody. I am going to have to get off here before we go down this soul hole too far because this is something we could fill a whole freaking episode on. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. Could be fun. You all have a wonderful evening. Congratulations again to the winner. Origin of Insanity. Thank you much for the donation, man. Appreciate it. You all have a great weekend. Stay safe. Have fun though. Try to enjoy it as best you can. Keep it as safe as you can too. And to the winners, again, I reiterate, make sure you get the screenshot there with your little thing open so I see your screen name and the email that you're going to email me. You're going to email me the screenshot so that I will have your email and I can send you the code for your free course because I don't want anyone cheating you out on what you want. I don't. Okay. Got to make sure we get it to the right people. Congratulations again. And thank you all for your support of the channel. It's been amazing. And I will see y'all Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. We're all going to survive the weekend. We'll be back here Sunday for Magical Coffee Hour to have some good laughs and close out the weekend. All right. Take it easy, everyone, and good night.